Hey everyone, it's Evan Kirstel. Another great discussion on board with Dell Technologies. Today I'm chatting with Andrew and Pierluca, business and thought leaders within the Telecom Systems Group. All things edge computing are on the table for discussion today. Gentlemen, how are you?
Very good, thank you.
Doing great. Thanks, Evan.
Thanks so much. Why don't you quickly introduce yourselves to the audience? Pierluca, I'll ask you to start.
Sure, I'm Pierluca Ciudelli. I'm leading the product manager and customer operation for Edge at Dell Technology, part of the ISG group.
Awesome.
Excellent. I'm Andrew Voss. I am leading the product management group for the telecom systems business at Dell Technologies.
Well, I'm really excited to have you both here today, and I'm particularly excited to ask you for a kind of state of play, a state of the union, if you will. We all know edge computing is one of the top trending, topics in enterprise tech and beyond, and maybe you could give us a feel for where we are, as we dive into the edge and why it's so not just important but relevant to pretty much every technology and business leader today. Pierluca.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So first of all, let me tell you that obviously Edge is a very used term today. It's one of the top terminology we see in the market. Is the top trend, and as we know, there are thousands of different definition of the Edge. I think at Dell Technology, what we like to say that the Edge is really where the data are created and where you need to do something with those data. So we like this definition because for someone, for example, in a store, is the point of sale. For someone in a manufacturing, the line that produce the things is really where the business happen. And that's why the edge and the value of what you're doing and why you need to do at the edge is coming from the data that you produce and the act you need to do on those data. So we like that definition because allow us to really encompass all sort of categories around the edge, including also obviously the telco enterprise as well.
Yeah, the retail space is super exciting as stores reinvent the consumer experience with AR and VR and the Internet of Things in store and payment technologies and, gosh, crypto, whatever else is coming on board. And as we look at the marketplace, analysts see a massive push to the edge, both applications, infrastructure, networking, cloud access, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so, Andrew, how does Dell fit in this world where I think of Dell as server storage, networking, hybrid IT, et cetera, et cetera. What does the edge mean for Dell?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if we look at, if I can add on to what Per Lucas said, you have a fundamental transition and shift of where people are processing data. Being able to do that in a timely manner, as well as having the capabilities to do it, it matters, right? So the edge is just exploding. Dell fits here in multiple ways. So when we look at enterprise customers looking at their applications or their core businesses, they want to leverage these edges in different ways, and they're approaching multiple different what I'd say vendors in to make this happen. There's probably three routes that we see that enterprises go to actually fulfill their edge requirements. One would be going to somebody like Dell or an SI to say, hey, we want to go build out an edge for a specific application. Can you please help us out? One is going to the hyperscalers, where they might say, hey, can you extend your cloud towards my enterprise prem? Basically, extend your edge out essentially to my prem, like a Microsoft Azure for Operators, for example. And then there's the telecom, the CSPs, where perhaps an enterprise needs spectrum. They might have a 5G service. Maybe that their application they're looking at requires mobility or coverage over a large space. And they might be going to the telcos essentially to go fulfill their edge requirements. And so Dell is really focused across all three. We're working with the telcos, especially in my group. Per Luca's group also, we're working on specific edge applications and platforms. And we're also working hand in hand with the hyperscalers often as well in order to build out that infrastructure to realize these edge dreams, if you will.
I love it. And you built quite an ecosystem of collaborators and partners up and down the value chain. So, tell us, Dell Strategy as, a big player in our space to capture the edge opportunity. Pierluca, give us all the secrets. Give us your secret strategy here, just for.
So first of all, I will say that we mentioned edge. Dell is not new at the edge, right? We've been at the edge for the last 20 years. One of the biggest things that we have probably if not the most complete portfolio, right? If you look across the entire portfolio, we're going from a ruggedized PC up to ruggedized server to storage to networking. So we cover all the flags and different things of the edge from many times. As well, we have an incomparable business as well that we call the OEM business that is really taking some of this product and adapt them to large customer that we have, a large partner that they take this product and they make the base of their edge solution. So this is something that is not necessarily known widely, but it's a very intriguing, interesting things where someone takes our base, we modify for them, and we adapt to rush condition or very particular use case in verticals. And beside that, as Andrew pointed out, we look at the portfolio. That's our first pillar. The second pillar is we're looking to make sure that we have the solution that they are required for the edge. Edge is a new market. Being a new market is very fragmented and very silos, and it's very verticalized. So it's very important for us as Dell to have the solution that meet the customer needs, where the customer is, and solve real customer problem. That's one of the mantra of Dell that we're doing, not also at the core of data center on the client side, but also at the edge. It's very important for us to make transformation tangible for the edge. And so we are focused also on the solution things. And the third pillar is to simplify the edge, right? The edge is in a status, as I said, that is very fragmented. But when there is fragmentation and proliferation, there is also opportunity. And the opportunity is also to bring our knowledge, our due diligence, our service, our supply chain, all of these together and simplify what the customer need to use from infrastructure point of view. So it's really free pillar approach. And obviously there is all the part that Andrew does with the telco as well.
Yeah, Andrew, you're unique in there working with both service providers and global enterprises. I imagine that's one of your, superpowers, as it were, in putting together solutions.
It's a key strength for us at Dell, right? If we look at why the edge and why the telcos are looking at the edge, it's obviously business opportunity. We've seen a shift in spend at the enterprise level of who they're partnering with and where the budgets sit, even to allow the enterprises to go partner with various folks to make their edges real, right? So they're often going to the telcos in specific use cases. We've seen all kinds of interesting use cases happening across multiple, I would say, enterprise verticals and market segments. From automotive, we've seen it actually even from federal, local government as well, going to the telcos saying, maybe I need a private 5G slice, for example, for my first responder networks. You see all kinds of different use cases happening here. So one of the advantages we have at Dell is we have such a large view into the enterprise markets to see what their evolving needs are for their core businesses. The telcos are looking at this going, hey, the communications network provides and plays now a key part in realizing these enterprise, this enterprise vision of what they want to do. So we kind of have a natural bridging function here at Dell where we can take some of the enterprise pieces, understanding where they're going, work with the telcos in building out the right solution sets as they figure out how they are going to be driving the edge requirements as well.
Yeah, fantastic. And Andrew, maybe talk about some initial success stories and how you're sort of doing things differently in your approach to the edge. I'd love to hear some anecdotes.
Oh, absolutely. This to me, this is fascinating because it's multiple transitions happening simultaneously, which makes this fun, right? Sometimes we have a business need, but we don't have the technology, or the technology is not there, but people are not ready yet to invest or kind of take in the next step in technology. We're at an interesting like convergence point right now where we're seeing business need, we're seeing a willingness to invest, and we're seeing the technology all come together at once. When Dell looks at this from our strategy, we're really looking at this as an open ecosystem because there's so many partners you have to bring into this to make this a reality. It's not just the infrastructure like the servers and storage. It's also having an open platform where various workloads can come in. You can work with different enterprise specific requirements they have for their specific use cases, which might mean any number of workloads from partners they're working with. It also might mean their own custom software that they want to use in these use cases as well. And you have to be flexible enough to do this, right? So the first principle, or what I would say puts Dell in a unique advantage, is we're really looking at this as a first step as a horizontal infrastructure where we can bring in all these different ecosystems and enable the enterprises and telcos to kind of realize these solution sets. We have multiple different interesting examples of this, by the way. So if I look at some of the telco pieces, you can look at one of the examples of a telco edge is the opening and virtualization and disaggregation of the RAN, as an example. So the 5G RAN, Dish is a wonderful example, which is a public example of ours. Vodafone is another great one, where people have disaggregated and virtualized their RAN. And now they're also thinking about what are the edge applications for these RAN networks. So it's fascinating just the thought leadership some of these telecom providers are thinking of doing some of the things Pierluca talked about. Hey, I have an edge now with a bunch of compute. How can I process data? What are the next set of applications I can drive off of it? Those are two 5G RAN examples. Another good one in the telecom space is we work with Rogers to work with a gold mine in Canada. It's actually one of the second largest gold mines. What we've done is we've offered a private 5G service there as well. Now that's the starting point, right? You have a remote area in Canada. You have a private 5G service interconnecting like an 80-kilometer wide area. Um, that's the starting point. You've now built infrastructure to really think about what is a next generation mining operation look like? Does it include autonomous vehicles? Does it include data processing, which this does right on site? There's all kinds of interesting, AI, ML led use cases that you can think of, including all kinds of autonomous infrastructure, video processing. It's actually kind of staggering the use cases that they're even thinking of for an example such as that.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I'd love a road trip out to the gold mine to check out the technology and maybe finders keepers on any nuggets that
The
I
three of
take
us.
away. But
Yeah.
but what an amazing case study. And Perluca, it's beyond any individual customer. It's really across industries. I don't think any industry is going to be untouched by edge computing, huh?
Yeah, look, it's very exciting time, and I think not because I work at Dell, but working at Dell give you an opportunity to touch so many customers. We are already present in most of the customer. As I said, we are selling at the edge for 20 years, so we have a privilege to meet a lot of people that they're doing this transformation in this moment. And I've been in this industry for 25 years, 23 of that probably in Dell or other companies before Dell, but that they are part of Dell now. And I can tell you that we tried the edge multiple times. Before was IoT, before was a different thing. But what is changing? The changing is I really feel that we are in the right place in the right moment because there is a um, um, there is a colliding of different things altogether. Normally, when big shift happen, is because three things come together, right? And those things are the customer need of do something. I mean, nobody touch manufacturing if you don't need to. I mean, that's a reality. You buy a manufacturing equipment for 30 years, 25 years. Normally, the people that know better the equipment are not electronic things, are the people that have been working on that equipment for 20 years. That's how it was. Now, if you think in what we live in the last 3 years, right, and we coming out of this, obviously everything has accelerated. I take manufacturing as an example of a very traditional place, right? The manufacturing floor, it's a very traditional place in the past. Like 5 years ago, most of the manufacturing equipment, they have a PLC, a controller, right? That you can program and stuff like that, but it was not connected. Now, suddenly, when we got hit with the pandemic, obviously we need to react because we didn't have people, all the people we need on the manufacturing floor. We need to collect data and understand if I'm producing the things the right way and how I can support the manufacturing process and productivity without having the people or enough people. Now, the same things in parallel happen in retail. The clear example of retail, if you remember, first of all, we didn't have a notion of curbside pickup. I mean, we didn't know. Now, the retail industry evolved pretty quickly to offer curbside pickup. And at the beginning was you take your phone, you call the guy and you say, hey, I'm here. Now, these things is dramatically evolving. If you look at the inside of the store, everything that goes on for a curbside pickup is actually an app in your phone where you can say where you are there, you are ready to pick up your thing. Before you even order the things, when you order the things online, they already digitally scan the label. They already know that package is being put in that place. They already know that you are approaching the store because you tell them and where you are, in which parking spot you are. The only thing is last is the guy that he bring you the package outside. That maybe in the future will be also replaced. But only in that things, imagine how much revolutionary things happen to make, from a technology point of view, to make that experience flawless. And that's all about that, right? There is a connection of things that everybody see at the edge that is important. You solving real problem because you have a need. There was a need to solve a problem, and there was a need to people to sit together and decide, okay, you know what? To solving that problem, I need to accelerate my transformation. And that's where things happen, right? When there is sometimes in a bad moment, it's where the best come out. And I mean, we live in that transformation. Yeah, we are all doing this Twitter from home, and we are connecting and speaking like we are sitting in the same table, things that probably impossible, and we are all at the edge. This is a demonstration of edge, right? We are in three different places, and we use networking, we use camera, we use headphones, and if you add more and more, you can be vertical for each verticals: industrial, retail, healthcare. You have the ability to do all of these things. So it's a very exciting thing. I mean, if you are a sport fan and you watch F1, I mean, McLaren is one of the best customer we have, and we are very proud to help them to collect telemetry and everything at the edge, because 1 microsecond makes the difference in an F1 race. So you want to have the best car, you want to collect the best data, analyze the best data, and don't losing time. And so you need to operate at the edge. So that's absolutely fantastic to live this moment.
Yeah, phenomenal. I really love the manufacturing perspective. There's a reason we call it the fourth industrial revolution, and not evolution, because we're just in such revolutionary times with the adoption of advanced technologies like edge. And Andrew, let's get out the crystal ball for a moment. What's next for edge, and how far into the future are you prepared to see right now? Give us maybe a bit of a preview.
I'll tell you, I do feel we're at our infancy on use cases in terms of how people want to use their edge. We're just getting the ideas about why we need to build this out. Perluca hit all the major verticals that we were talking about, right? Manufacturing, healthcare, retail. But you can see so many different use cases when we talk to different telcos and providers that they're being brought into. We had an automotive manufacturer who wanted private 5G slice combined with edge capability. Why?
Wow.
They need telematics off of their cars, all the fleet in the cars. A lot of the changes in cars are software now. So if you can analyze that, figure out what's going on, fix it without having anybody even take it back to their shop, it's massive savings for everybody across the board. We talked about video, for example, as something that's going to be interesting in conjunction with the edge, with analytics. So you can think of combine an edge play with private 5G with proper visual recognition. You can see one use case in, say, a casino, right? Seeing what's happening in the casino, making sure everything's copacetic in there, or analyzing where people are going, what are they using the most in terms of where they're playing. You can see another use case with the same set of technology on a college campus from a safety perspective. So, how there's safety phones, for example. One of my children just started college this year, and when we did the tour, you see all these phones all around campus in case somebody's in trouble or something has happened. What if there is a telco offers a safety package across the whole university with cameras so they can see if anybody's hurt or has injured or et cetera? You can combine these sets of technologies for more and more interesting use cases. So I honestly think we're at just the beginning of our innovation and imagination about what we can do with these technologies on the edge. As we build out this infrastructure, I think we're going to see more and more happen here. That's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, so exciting. I was talking to a startup recently who's building safety technology into jewelry for women's jewelry so they can wear, safety devices that are much more, interesting and attractive than the clunky gadgets that are out there today. So much in this space to watch. And watch indeed. We have Dell Tech World coming up. So you guys will be busy among many of your colleagues there. But let's shift gears a little bit. You guys work and gals work very hard. But I think you like to play hard too. Give us some insight. What do you do to unwind, or to relax, or to switch off? Any favorite destinations or hobbies? Pierluca, what can you share?
Well, I like before when travel was very easy. I like to travel a lot, and I define myself as a citizen of the world in the sense that.
Nice.
I really like to meet different cultures, spend time with people of all different backgrounds. That's one of the reasons that I came to United States in the first place. But my best vacation spot that probably I should keep secret, but now I don't know. Maybe it's a challenge to see how many people they look at this. Don't go there too much, but it's in Mexico. It's in Tulum, and it's called Soliman Bay, and you can't find it from a normal road. So you need to be in touch with some local people that they tell you how to go there, because it's outside of any touristic thing. So it's a very cool place. It's a very relaxing spot. And it's definitely on the edge. So it's
nice. But anything but Cancun, we need to get out of the tourist traps. So that sounds really intriguing. Andrew, what about you? What do you do to disconnect or get away or otherwise?
I'll actually talk about a vacation we just booked. We haven't gone yet, which I'm super excited about.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have 4 children, so it's always fun getting all the family together, all 6 of us. And we're actually heading to Belize this summer. And it's kind of an eco-adventure type environment. So we'll be like rappelling down waterfalls. We'll be hiking through the rainforest, jumping in lakes and whatnot, and snorkeling on the coast. So it's
that is very adventurous. 4
Can I be part of the family? Can I be the 7th child?
We'll bring Perluca too. So.
But we're going to look for some tweets and posts about that trip for sure. But gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Follow Dell Tech World for updates on the hashtag. And yeah, happy Edge networking.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Edge.